The parallel squat is the king of the exercises. To be successful in any sport, you need to be able to do this perfect. You can do it perfect by paying close attention to having a perfect athletic stance, having your knees in perfect alignment, by spreading your chest, having a great back, and most of all, making sure that you go down to the proper depth, which is parallel. Now let's review the importance of the parallel squat. Remember that the foundation of strength and power is centered in the hips and legs, so you must parallel squat. The parallel squat is king. The parallel squat is key in speed and jumping power. The parallel squat is fantastic for the glutes and hamstrings. When done properly, the parallel squat will strengthen knee ligaments, tendons, bones, and muscles, and thus prevent knee injuries. It's a big mistake to squat 3 times per week, so you should only do it twice per week. It's best to do parallel squats once per week and then a squat variation for your other workout. Your best coaching points to always stress are: always say to sit tall and spread the chest. Spotters are key in helping you achieve your potential and maximum results. Those spotters should always be great teammates and coaches. Remember to always vary your sets and reps for maximum gains. The best way to do it is to simply use the BFS system. And keep in mind that no machine or any free weight variation, whether it be leg extensions, leg curls, or hip sled, none of those come close to matching the parallel squat and reaching one's athletic potential. You have got to parallel squat. Back in the 1980s, we had a wonderful relationship with one of the very top discus throwers in the world. His name was Stefan Fernholm, and he was on our staff. He was an incredible athlete. I call him the world's fastest big man. 6'1½", 270, running a 4.23 40-yard dash. That was his fastest. And from a stand, he had a vertical jump of 40 inches. So we have this footage, and I wanted to show it to you, even though it's very old, and show Stefan doing the parallel squat. Another reason for showing you this older video is just to say there is nothing new for the secret of success. And the secret of success involves parallel squatting and the power clean. You've always got to be good at that. So here's Stefan from 1985 doing a parallel squat. 595 pounds on the bar. Puts the bar on his shoulders and on his neck. Gets a good athletic stance down. Easy rest. Easy rest. Here we have Stefan now. We're going to take a look at his technique. You can see he puts the bar on his shoulders, not on his neck. He gets his stance. It's an athletic stance similar to his discus stance. He looks straight ahead, not up or down, but straight ahead. Notice the back. And we say spread the chest to get the back in the proper position. It should be locked in tight. A locked in tight position, concave lower back. Okay, tell me about the belt and why you use it.
Well, it's obviously for back support, but the back support comes actually from the stomach side of your body, not the back, because when you arch down like this, whatever's in your back can't support you when the weight is pushing you forward. So that's why it's powerlifting belt's as wide in the front as it is in the back. And those ordinary belts you have, they're real thin in the front.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that, because they're made for Olympic lifters, and they need to bend down. They need to get a lot of movements in their stomach area. But this is actually to prevent your stomach movement, to give you support in the front here.
Okay. Okay, now as we examine the proper depth for an athlete to do on his squats, he goes down to the thighs are right parallel. I'm looking at the top part of the thigh for an athlete, right down there. Okay, great job. Stefan, why is it important to go down to the parallel position?
Well, it seems like that's a depth that's going to get your quads best in your back, and also your glutes. And if you go any shallower than that, it seems like you're missing an awful lot of strength. That's what.
Okay, now you've been squatting now for how many years?
10 years.
Have you ever had any knee problems?
Never.
You know, I've been squatting now for 20 years without any knee problems. In fact, I can run. I feel great. Tell me how important the squat is for an athlete.
Well, it depends on what sport you're in, but the sport...
Let's take football, track, basketball.
Yeah, it's very important. That's one of the most important exercises because it covers so many muscle groups of your body. It covers your hamstrings, your calves, if you do them right, and your quadriceps and your back. And it's just a great exercise if you do it right.
And how many reps do you think is in the area? Should you be doing one in the area between 1 and 10, or how about 25 or 12, 15? What do you think is the optimum level to do most of your training at?
The optimum level for an athlete that's been lifting for 4 or 5 years would be around the 5 area, I would say, give or take 2 or 3.
If you're a younger athlete, like for example, if you're a junior high?
I would go with more reps too, because you need to strengthen the ligaments and the tendons, and they don't have the same vascularity as your muscles do, and that means that it's going to take a longer time for them to grow than it will for the muscles. If you go on a say 5-rep program, you're going to get a lot of muscle growth, and you're going to neglect your tendons and your ligaments, and that's when you have a lot of serious injuries. People that practice wrong, they start out wrong.
Okay, tell me about if an athlete such as a football player or a baseball, basketball player, what if he were to leave out squats and say do just leg extensors and leg curls? How do you feel about that?
Oh, I wouldn't recommend that unless he had some severe knee problems to start out with.
Okay, what about, say, training on a machine like Nautilus or some other kind of machine to strengthen the legs only?
Well, I don't like machines because they tend to, or they do isolate the muscle group that you're working on. They just put you kind of like in a rack, and then you just work on one thing. And that's not what life is all about. When you do any kind of sport, you run, you jump, and that involves a lot more muscles in the same effort than what it does to do, like, say, a leg extension. You just work mostly or almost only on your quadriceps. Now, when do you ever do that, running or jumping? Never.
Okay, now how do you feel about going for maxes? Do you feel good to get that 700-pound squat or the 820 squat? Is that good for your mind?
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, now let's count up the weights here that Stefan's going to do on this next attempt. Now, each one of these big plates is 45 pounds. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 45s on, and then a 5 and a 2.5 to make it exactly 700 pounds on the bar. Now, it should be noted that 700 pounds puts Stefan in an elite class for an athlete. Very, very few athletes can squat this amount. This is about 120 pounds underneath his maximum effort when he's at the peak of his training. It also should be noted that Stefan does not use any super suit that the powerlifters use. He just has sweatpants on and some wraps, and away he goes. So let's see what he can do with 700 pounds. All right, super effort. 700, big one. Stop! Come on. Down. Hop right. Hop, 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 hop. Get your hip forward. Throw your hip forward. All right, good job.
That was an effort.